Hi everyone, welcome to our Christmas webinar. My name is Corinne Skelton. I'm the Country Manager for Pinterest here in Australia and New Zealand. I'm very excited to be here today talking about Christmas and in July. Hopefully you have all been getting your Christmas jumpers out in the last month. I'm sure you have been, as it seems that Christmas in July is a real thing here this year. We know it's been a crazy few months, filled with twists and turns, tragedies and changes. A month ago, streets all over Australia and New Zealand were empty, and everyone was at home. And although we are in many ways not back to normal, especially with recent events in Victoria and in New South Wales, it's still nice to see and to feel communities coming alive where possible. In some parts of Australia and in New Zealand, we are starting to open up and rebuild, and hopefully with fresh perspectives for the future. We've all had to adapt really quickly, and I really do feel like we're all in this together. The advertising industry also had to adapt. Campaigns that were planned shifted. Others paused, some even became irrelevant. And as lockdown kicked in, people started using Pinterest in ways they've never used it before. At first, they used it to seek comfort and to make their immediate surroundings more comfortable, searching for new desks or even how to make their own stand-up desk from home. But as time passed, people started looking forward and started searching and buying sandals for the summer, recipes for grilling in the garden, and the most surprising to us all, Christmas as early as April. Now, when brands start talking about Christmas too early, they might be met with an eye roll, as Christmas advertising and messaging seems to get earlier and earlier each year. Some might find it jarring and too soon. On Pinterest, however, you are showing up contextually amongst other relevant content in front of those looking for Christmas ideas themselves. You have the right to talk about Christmas, especially when people are searching, and on Pinterest, that is happening earlier than ever. Pinners are planners, but this year, they are really planning way ahead of time. That is what we're going to be talking about over the next 30 minutes. I will introduce you to Martin and Steph, our two retail experts, who will share a deep dive and how to best use Pinterest for your brand, how to activate our marketing products for a full funnel solution, so your brand can be the first when people do start looking. And then you will hear from Amy, our creative strategist, who will give you advice on how to make the most inspiring and creative solutions while planning your Christmas campaign this year. Before we start, on a logistical note, we are recording the session and it will be emailed to you after this webinar. When we are done, you'll be asked to complete a survey, and you will then get a PDF of the content once this has been submitted. Okay, let's get started. I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, Martin, Partnerships Manager for Retail and E-commerce. Over to you, Martin.
Thanks, Corinne, and welcome again, everyone. My name is Martin, and I lead the retail team here in Canada. I'm joined today by Steph Fleming, who's a senior partner manager on my team, and we're both really excited to talk to you about the opportunity to get in front of consumers as they're starting their holiday planning process this year. Looking at the last 4 months or so, I'm probably not alone in terms of observing a lot of new behaviors that are all revolving around our homes. First off, we're all working from home, and we've done so for the better part of the last 4 months. In addition to that, to the ones that have kids, we're now tending to our kids from home. We're doing homeschooling. And other great things that have happened during the pandemic is baking and cooking. I make pizza with my little daughter once every week. And in addition to that, a few of us have been lucky enough to celebrate our quarantine birthdays. I certainly did. The cake was small, but the party was big, and we had a great time. And this extends all the way through to purchases. All purchases are now happening from home in front of one of the many screens that we have. At the same time, a lot of us were thinking about what's going to happen in the future now that both stores and malls are slowly starting to reopen. So One of the things that are obvious to me as a consumer, but also looking at the broader retail landscape, is that retail has undergone massive change, and so has consumer behavior during a very small time frame. It's still to be determined if this change will persist, but what holds true is that we can help both marketers as well as consumers take advantage of this shift on Pinterest. Amid all this change, the shopping journey has largely remained the same. Whether it has to do with essential or non-essential retail, there's still the need to buy out of necessity or just for sheer fun. And most people that I've talked to, they still enjoy the process of shopping. There hasn't been too much change in that. But the role that each channel plays in the process has changed, which means that the way we as marketers can influence purchases has also changed. There's a little bit more understanding as we evolve to the new normal that buying no longer will be as condensed as it once was. Following the outbreak of the coronavirus and the subsequent restrictions on physical retail, the proportion of purchases that are happening online today has risen to record levels, and I don't think that's a surprise to any one of us here today. Retailers are reevaluating their store footprint, how they space people out in store, but certainly when it comes to checkout as well. And at the same time, they're rethinking how they're going to use their physical store space in the future. Some stores are becoming hubs of distribution, allowing for quick centralized pickups, whereas other stores or other retailers, they're catering to private experiences where consumers can schedule appointments, they come to the store to have a more personalized experience rather than just transacting. And this is something that we're going to continue to see going forward. But even in a reopened economy, consumers are going in, getting the things they need, and then getting out. They're not taking the time to shop like they used to. Digital has been making buying frictionless, using the least amount of clicks to purchase, but we see new opportunities to use digital on the other end of the shopping equation. Because as we all know, shopping's not just about the act of buying, it's also about browsing, and within browsing you have discovery and inspiration, which are now also moving online at a greater clip. So let's talk about how the browsing experience is changing. We do have the opportunity to get in front of shoppers in digital ways that inspire them and help them think about the possibilities in their lives that they used to get walking down High Street or visiting malls. And as we mentioned before, digital is catered to the transaction once you already know what you want to buy. While I would argue that we as an industry haven't done the best possible jobs creating digital browsing experiences that strike both an emotional chord with a consumer while also providing them with really compelling merchandising. And we've seen this play out on Pinterest the last couple of months, hitting record engagement on the platform. We've actually seen engagement grow 60% year over year. This translates to Pinterest seeing high level of commercial intent with people who are planning for their future purchases, and that's really exciting. Our mission is to bring everyone the inspiration to create a life they love, and we're doing that more now than we've ever done in the past. And with more than 367 million people coming to Pinterest every month, we're seeing our pinners energetically looking for ideas to browse and buy across all kinds of needs in this unique environment. Here are some of the currently trending areas: home offices, deck furniture ideas, backyard kids activities, gardening tips, and comfortable clothing. I don't think any one of these categories surprise anyone anymore. We've all seen this through the last couple of months. But the newest one to the list is Christmas-related activity. What we're seeing right now is a significant increase in holiday-related searches already. Christmas baking, for instance, is seeing 5 times the amount of searches now versus what we saw last year at the same time. For Christmas decor, it's a 4x increase year over year. And similarly for Christmas party outfits, we're also seeing a 4x increase. So Christmas is truly starting to pop on Pinterest early this year. But why is it happening? I think we're all asking this very question. Again, we can't really predict the future, but as COVID has constricted a lot of our everyday lives, there could be a sense in which people are looking forward to this holiday period as the one that represents an opportunity to regain control of how we experience tradition, connection, and certainly family. And people are searching how to do that even today. Providing more proof then. I'm sure you all want to see the proof. In the line graph on the left, the dark blue line is depicting Pinterest indexed holiday searches, and the light blue line is the same for the leading search engine. By comparison, we start seeing increases in June and July on our platform, whereas holiday searches on the leading competitive search engine don't really take off until November, December. But this year, that trend is accelerating more rapidly than we were expecting. In 2020, holiday searches on Pinterest started increasing in May already. And in the graph on the right, we're quantifying a 59% year-over-year growth rate as far back as April of this year. So what does this mean in terms of how Pinterest can help? Well, this year, we've invested heavily in bolstering our shopping experience to help our partners connect with pinners as they are doing browsing, discovery, and buying on our platform. So I've talked a little bit about the why. Now I'd like to pass it over to Steph to talk about the how you can take advantage of this opportunity for your business. Over to you, Steph.
Thanks, Marty. As you mentioned, my name is Steph Fleming, and I'm a partner manager here at Pinterest. So first, I just want to really start with the foundations for how you can activate and start driving business results this holiday season on Pinterest. So what you're looking at here, some of you may have heard about our recently launched Verified Merchant program, whereby now you can actually upload your entire product catalog to Pinterest so you can start developing shopping experiences across our platform. We've also made it really easy for you to organize your products online so that you can make product groupings that are aligned to how your customers are shopping, which is what you can see here on the right-hand side. We've also added benefits actually that to help you also understand more about your customers, also about in terms of which categories they're browsing and which ones they might have more of an affinity for. What really underpins this whole program, though, as far as the Verified Merchant and your product catalog, is really having the placement of your Pinterest tag on your site. And this will be a key piece to help you unlock and really understand how conversion and performance is doing for your business. So once you're up and organized and your product catalog is uploaded, you're set for distribution across our shopping experiences from an organic perspective. We've been doing a lot of work in this area this year, trying to make this a great experience, both for our users, but for your customers as well. And we've really found that there's 3 things that are important to success in this area. 1, it needs to be visually appealing. 2, it needs to be personal for what that user and customer is looking for. And then lastly, it needs to be action oriented, meaning that they can actually shop and purchase with the product that they're looking for. So here, just a couple of examples of some of these new surfaces that we're really excited about that we recently launched. First on the left, what you're looking at is shopping from a close-up. So what you can see here is a pin of someone with a bike and a really cool looking backpack. With our algorithm now, we're able to allow pinners to highlight specific products within an image. And then what will happen is real products that are pulled from our ecosystem and your product feeds will then be pulling in with similar looking and related products. Another surface where your pins can appear on the right-hand side, there's a shop from search. So with this, which users will type in various text queries and the results will come back based on that, again, pulling in products that are highly relevant to that query they just made. We think these are just 2 ways that customers will enjoy shopping in a way that really helps inspire and also helps form purchase intent and starts to push them down the funnel. So beyond those surfaces, the 3rd step here, as far as the foundations, is really our paid ads. So once you're up and organized, you'll be eligible to put these into paid ads, and we're making this easier and better than ever before. There's additional features we have now, such as automated bidding options based on your budget. We've also increased the reporting capabilities within our paid ads. And lastly, we're increasing the number of ad units that are available for you to leverage your product catalog and feature on Pinterest. So first, what you can see here is our original shopping ads that some of you are probably very familiar with on the left-hand side. And really what this does is this pulls from your catalog. gives you the ability to promote specific product groups that further match Pinner and your customer behavior using those signals of intent. One of our newer ad units that we're really excited about on the right-hand side is collections. This really allows you to create a grouping of visually similarly related products that you might make more sort of coherent and inviting for a shoppable experience. So especially around the holiday time period, we often see advertisers use this ad unit for more of a gift guide kind of selection, which is a great use case for that. So again, what I've kind of just taken you through, this is just sort of the foundations. So again, the verified merchant program and getting your product catalog up on Pinterest. And this is really just a start. So from here, let's take a look at what that looks like to build for the right timing as well as the right theme. So here's what I mean. So on this chart here, you can see here at the bottom what we just spoke about, having your products always available within the Pinterest ecosystem through your feed. One up from that, the paid ads we spoke about in terms of formats like the collection ad unit or shopping ads that will really help you promote and get distribution even more broadly at scale. But then what you can do is sort of build on the funnel and that shopping program you have by asking what lifestyle content maybe you have either in other channels or some net new content that you're developing. And you can run that on Pinterest in terms of static images or carousels, really to start inspiring and drive that mid-funnel generation. And of course, you can still use video. It's a great way to drive top-of-mind awareness, but also inspire and bring people closer to your brand. So in a few moments, my colleague Amy on our creative team is going to walk you through and share more ideas how you can successfully create beautiful content for the platform. So stay tuned for that in a couple of moments from now. So moving on, again, sort of speaking about, Marty sort of seeded that from a marketing perspective, you want to start early, and pinners or planners, and you'll often hear us say that. So you want to start thinking about targeting, but also timing. Here's just an example of some of our top categories of pinners have historically engaged around the holidays, which you can tie both your messaging and your branding to. So again, gifting, a top category, food and drink, home decor, entertaining, and historically travel, although maybe not this year, but still looking forward to see what happens there. So here you can see the timing as well as when you can start activating against these segments based on the size of the bubble and when we start to see engagement and searches start to ramp up. So just before I wrap, I do just want to emphasize why we do think it makes sense for you to invest on Pinterest this holiday season. So aside from what we just chatted about previously, there's an outsized number of people coming to our platform earlier than ever with commercial intent and are trying to plan for those purchases. But I think what really sets us apart is really around our mission of being an inspiration platform. And Pinterest really is that platform that inspires people. And we think this sets us apart. Because in retail, we know that inspiration is a really important part of the path to purchase. And it's a great way to create that bond between your brand, but also start while consumers are shopping and start to drive those transactions. Some research we recently did found that 83% of weekly active pinners have made a purchase based on content that they've seen from a brand on Pinterest. So we know we're the inspiration company, and we also know that inspiration really matters to shoppers and to your customers. So 2 in 3 people in a recent survey said that inspiration phase really helps influence what they're going to buy and helps to sort of hone in on that purchase decision. So no matter how much shopping has changed and is going to continue to change, what really hasn't changed is the powerful and critical role that inspiration plays in that path to purchase. And in an age when there's more choice than ever before, that inspiration phase and that shopping journey is going to be critical to help your customers sort of declutter and narrow down that decision. So we know this matters for your customers and for pinners, but of course, inspiration also matters for retailers. It not only moves those shoppers to the point of decision, but it also allows them to be confident in what they're buying. And why that's also important is because this translates to more value for your business. We actually discovered that shoppers that are focused on finding more of that perfect product that they're looking for and can be confident in what they're buying, they on average actually spend 20% more than shoppers that are just looking for a transactional purchase. So just finding that right product at the right price. That comes from this sort of inspiration process really does translate into more business value. So sort of taking you through the inspiration process, but what does that really all add up to? When we put this together between pinner behavior, but also advertiser performance, this is what we see on our platform. What we're showing here is data from what happened last holiday season, so in 2019 of last year. And what you can see here is that the baseline for conversion rates, which is the blue line, the light blue line here, actually increases 3x the norm over the holiday season. So we see a huge increase and ramp up towards Christmas time. But what you can also see here, the dark blue rectangles, is that those messages that are coming from advertisers on our platform and those impressions are indeed leading and also correlating to these conversions. So what this really means for brands is that those that kind of focus on the inspiration phase early are able to influence and then start to convert in an outsized way as we approach that holiday season. So lastly, being part of obviously Pinterest plays a role in that path of purchase and can influence conversions. But these conversions from Pinterest are also meaningful because they're oftentimes incremental to what you're seeing across your marketing plans. So in other words, transactions that you would not have seen if advertisers had not been using Pinterest as part of their marketing mix. So what you're looking at here, this is data coming from an aggregated study we did with Newstar, where we actually found that Pinterest drove the highest percentage of incremental conversions compared to other channels at 25%. So beating out search and display and other social platforms as far as those incremental conversions. So in summary, what is an advertiser to do and how can Pinterest help prepare for the holidays? Well, one, given the environment that we're facing that's calling for more and more digital discovery, and given that the holiday period will look a little bit different this year, we suspect, and because Pinterest has sort of demonstrated that we can really play a unique role in that digital shopping experience as far as inspiration, but also driving incremental purchases. I think this really positions us well to really help you drive business results this holiday season. And we really look forward to working with you to inspire your customers as they shop online and drive those results for you. So to end, that's all for me. And here to talk to you more specifics about how you can creatively bring your strategy to life on Pinterest is my colleague, Amy. She's our Director of Creative Strategy here in Australia and New Zealand. So over to you, Amy.
Thanks, Martin and Steph. My name is Amy Rancer, and I'm part of the creative strategy team here at Pinterest. The creative strategy team helps brands of all sizes activate successful creative and content across the platform. And today, I'll be discussing just that through the lens of the amazing Christmas opportunity that exists for brands. And with that, let's get started. You heard us talk throughout the webinar today how people use Pinterest to make inspired decisions, effortlessly pivoting from modes of inspiration and shopping. These pivots, or touch points that shift someone from inspiration to action, are most often catalyzed or informed by a piece of creative from a brand. The reason for that is something core to the Pinterest platform. Here at Pinterest, brands are welcome, and your creative comes to life as content. On Pinterest, ads are content. So, how can your brand create content that inspires decisions this Christmas season? Aligning your Pinterest content with the right moments and content that people are searching for is so important. It can help your brand gain up to 10 times higher aided awareness and up to even 22% higher online sales lift. That is why it is so important to make your ad relevant to what pinners are actively searching for on the Pinterest platform. And this is not just about your typical demographic targeting. Think about all of the different mindsets people are experiencing during Christmas, the visuals, the products, and the themes that your brand can really be a part of. One of the first steps is to identify and understand your audience. Who might be those pinners that you are really planning for, or what they're planning for? And what are those pinners into? I'll be discussing just a few of the Christmas personas we see on Pinterest in the next few slides. First up, we have the early bird. These are the pinners we have been talking about and have actually made this presentation possible. They're already searching and have been. And I definitely don't fall into this category, but the early bird is the person who has their Christmas shopping done before many of us even consider starting a list. Are you potentially the early bird? Do you have that early bird friend? Potentially, maybe. Think about prompting them into the shopping moment early. You can even explore more functional decision-making opportunities like highlighting payment plans. Next, we have the traditionalist. They want Christmas to look like it does in the movies. Don't try to change or give them too much of any new contemporary trends, such as a white tree. Absolutely not. They're keeping it green and red this season. And it's time to replay all of those favorite old movies of yours from the Christmas past. What's your holiday film that's your favorite? Mine personally is Love Actually. And after Halloween, I've seen it for the 400th time, but I always watch it over and over and again. And my husband loves it. Not really, but I force him to watch it anyway, just to get into the Christmas spirit. We also have the decorator. For some, it's a time of presents and overindulgence on the day itself. But for many, it's about the baubles and the tinsel. Don't forget about the lights and even more tinsel when we're at that. Decorating and creating a festive environment in and outside the home is a huge part of Christmas for this group. And what better place than Pinterest to find those ideas? A big trend we've seen rise in popularity actually for the last several years and months is the idea of the self-gifter. There's no way this gift can be a flop. They know everything about the recipient and exactly what they want. I myself will be indulging in copious amounts of makeup to perfect my contouring skills. We also have the rookie online shopper. Although we might all be familiar and comfortable with an online shop, for some, shopping for Christmas this year might well be something fairly new. They want to feel safe and secure, and checkout needs to be as simple as possible for them. During this year, so many people have shopped online for the first time. Brands need to be ready to make sure that every customer has the best possible experience and make it eventually easy for the consumer to take action. We also have the next level party planner. Whether it's with work, friends, or family, it's normally a solid few months of celebrating with this crew. It might not be quite the same this year, but there's ways to stay festive and add some extra flair to your party. Feature recipes that are party perfection or decorations that will spread cheer to all those are near. And lastly, for the shipping first shopper. Before any gift comes, the question arises, when will it arrive? And how much is it going to add to the overall budget? For those who are conscious of shipping timelines and costs, share how you're helping consumers be mindful during the holiday and Christmas season. Another difference on top of the mindsets is to think about how we're seeing smaller moments become much bigger and much more meaningful. Micro holiday moments are the language around those are starting to offer scale as things like Friendsgiving and New Year's brunch become new traditions pinners are searching for. Another one to throw in the mix I'm sure you'll all get excited about is Christmas Jumper Day, and I wore mine today specifically for this occasion. To be relevant and additive to those moments, it starts with leveraging our Pinterest insights. Creative informed by pinner behavior will help your brand establish relevance. But let's pause for a second and specifically look at these holiday insights. The most interesting thing about these insights is not that baking or home decor is spiking. That's to be expected, of course. The interesting thing is how early these insights are spiking in comparison to last year. And you might be asking yourself, why is that? The season is special. 2020 has been a tough year, no doubt. People all over the world share that this Christmas season will mean so much more to them than years past. Not only will they mean more, they probably will look a bit different. Pinners are planning earlier than ever to cope with the unknown, which means this Christmas season, brands have the opportunity to inspire the unknown. One of the best things you can do for a pinner is help them navigate this change with ideas. We can't change what's happening, but brands can help pinners react to the unknown with inspired solutions. So let's check out a few ways this can be done. Delicious cocktail recipes are popular all year round, but maybe you're looking for delightful and colorful warm weather cocktails to serve at a family gathering, or maybe even a pre-Christmas dinner party you're planning with friends. In this case, you can provide inspiration and ideas for this audience. Look what's out there, how you can be additive, or maybe even have a whole different take to the common suggestion. Since Christmas searches are spiking early, why not get creative with different theme decorations for both indoors and outdoors? This Christmas season is a time when we all invite people into our homes, and this year that will definitely look a little different. But once again, your brand can offer an inspired solution to the unknown, like you see in this example here with festive Christmas decorations for both inside and outside the home. Last, we took a look at a spike in Christmas photo shoots. Many of us are enjoying the relaxed work from home wardrobe, of course, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't celebrate special moments and occasions. What if a retail brand helped pinners cope with all of the changes and differences by encouraging a classic behavior of putting together the perfect Christmas outfit? And on one final note, we know more people will be doing Christmas shopping online than ever before this season. Traditionally, e-commerce is focused on lower funnel transactions, or as my colleagues described earlier, they mentioned the buying phase of shopping. Many of us may miss the inspiring Christmas in-store environments. I know I will, which begs the question of how we as marketers can make e-commerce just a little bit more inspiring. An example of inspired e-com on Pinterest are what we call pin extensions. Pin extensions are custom digital experiences pinners can explore within the Pinterest in-app browser. Here we have an example of a tech brand highlighting places for tech gifts in the home. This helps engage the browsing behavior of the shopping experience and process. To summarize everything we discussed today, this is how you need to think about how you inspire Christmas decisions when you're creating for the Christmas season. First, align to moments, both macro moments like Christmas and micro moments that exist in between. Next, always fuel your creative with insights. Really stretch those insights and come up with unexpected creative ideas. And last, inspire the unknown. Planning is a manifestation of coping, especially now, and brands help pinners navigate that. If you're looking for more inspiration, both for Christmas and just in general, we have a creative strategy at Pinterest board. If you open up your Pinterest app and scan this pin code, you'll be driven to a profile full of additional examples to view and be inspired. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Karin to close things out today. Thank you so much.
Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year, and there may never be another Christmas season quite like this one. This year, people are craving the comfort that the magic of Christmas brings. They want the season to feel more festive than ever before, and they're asking for brands to help them get there. Christmas has always started on Pinterest, but this year, it's earlier than ever. Be the brand they discover first this season, and you'll be their first choice when it's time to shop. Thank you very much for being here today. We hope that you've enjoyed the content, gained some insights, and keep pinning away. Please remember to take 2 minutes to take the survey, and then you'll get access to the PDF of the content. Merry Christmas and hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.